Hello and welcome to this special edition of Out and About. We're calling it the Big Weekend. The third weekend of September features 3 major events. A little later we'll have information about the Lincoln Arts Festival's big move to downtown and about the 9th annual Streets Alive Outdoor Movement Festival. But we're going to start with a special Out and About with the 16th annual Lincoln Calling Music Festival. It's coming up September 18th through the 22nd at venues throughout Lincoln. And joining me is one of the organizers, Brandon Elwell. Brandon, nice to have you with us. You work at Zipline Brewing. We'll talk a little bit about that connection a little later. But one of your jobs was as the booking person, booking the bands. How many bands this year, and who are some of the highlighters?
So basically, we've got about 90 bands throughout 3 days of music. Across 6 venues downtown or 6 stages. Some of our headliners include, we have a very diverse lineup. We've got Lee Fields and the Expressions, which he headlined Zoo Fest a few years ago. He's kind of an old time soul funk with, big band with horns and everything. And then we've got some good indie rock acts like Soccer Mommy, Cautious Clay, who's an up and coming kind of R&B singer-songwriter, producer. He's worked with John Mayer, Taylor Swift. We've got then an electronic music group called A Tribe Called Red, which they're like an indigenous group that combines kind of like that native like powwow sound with electronic dance music. We're really excited about that. So lots of stuff.
What do you look for when you're booking bands?
We try to grab bands as they're kind of like on the come up, before we want to catch them while they're a little bit still under the radar. Once they get to a certain point, it becomes a very expensive thing. And so we try to, catch them at a good time, and that way we can get way more artists and a way bigger variety.
And local bands playing as well?
Yeah, we have, I think, probably about 30% of the lineup is local bands, maybe 25%. The rest are, touring, smaller named bands that are just trying to get their name out there as well. So
now, as the festival has grown, there's also things that have kind of grown up around it, some related events. Tell us about the programs that are taking place on wellness, entrepreneurship, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think in the last 5 years we've started to kind of focus on trying to have workshops and panels, and we focus on wellness and entrepreneurship, like you said. Like wellness, we'll have some talks on body positivity, sexual health, relationships, and then for entrepreneurship we have like a women in tech panel. We're talking about tech startups, and we have a G-Beta panel, which is going to be like for basically music entrepreneurs, people that are trying to take their art to the next level and form an LLC or whatever it may be.
All right. And this is all with a focus on sustainability.
Yeah, we try to keep that as one of our primary focuses. We really care about the earth, and we want to make sure people are disposing of their cups and that we are as waste free as possible.
All right, there's a night market as well. What nights is that taking place?
Night market is on Friday and Saturday right at 14th and O. It'll back up to the Lincoln Arts Festival, so we'll kind of join forces there. That is full of like local food vendors, art vendors, clothing vendors, stuff like that, and then we'll have a stage there where mostly local bands will be playing as well.
All right, sounds like fun. You mentioned the Lincoln Arts Festival for the first time happening in conjunction with Lincoln Calling. What kind of energy does that bring to your festival?
I think it kind of just expands the market. I think there are a lot of people that still don't know about Lincoln Calling, and vice versa, people that don't know about the Lincoln Arts Festival going on. So I think those people have similar interests, and it'll help kind of broaden both events, I would say.
All right.
And also in the night market, I forgot to mention, we'll have 2 local alcohol sponsors. So Zipline and Glacial Till will be putting on a beer garden, basically, and we're doing like a collaborative beer with Zipline as well for the event.
Do you have a name for the special beer?
Yes, it's Stage Dive Session IPA. It's kind of like a lighter, hazy session IPA, which just means it's low in ABV. We added some orange to it, make it very drinkable for a wide variety of people.
All right, and you're still looking for some volunteers to help out as well.
We are, yeah. It's you can sign up through our website. You can kind of pick and choose what shift you want to work. It's just one 5-hour shift, and that gives you a free 3-day pass for the whole festival.
All right, and the 3-day pass really is the way to go if you want to just sample go from venue to venue.
Yeah, I mean you can go to every venue. You can go to all the panels and workshops. See up to 90 bands. I mean, it'd be kind of hard to see all 90. But yeah. Yeah.
Somebody will try.
Yep.
Kent Walgamont at the paper said that Lincoln Calling right now is like the early days of South by Southwest down in Austin. What do you see as the future of this festival?
I hope that in years to come, just more people kind of hear about it and see how inclusive and diverse the event is, and we can get more local companies to help sponsor because we are a nonprofit. And if we can increase our budget a little bit, we can get even more high caliber national acts and people from all over the world to come.
And Lincoln Calling 2019 again is September 18th through the 22nd in venues all across downtown Lincoln. For more information, it's lincolncalling.org. When we come back, we'll have details on the annual Lincoln Arts Festival being held in conjunction with Lincoln Calling this year. And during the break, we'll have details on Play on P Street, a very different kind of art event happening the same weekend. Stay tuned.
While you're downtown enjoying Lincoln Calling and the Lincoln Arts Festival, check out the Play on P Street, a free public art event from 17th Street to Canopy Street. Lincoln's first placemaking festival of contemporary art features artists from across the globe. For more information on this free event, visit lincolnpops.com.
Welcome back to this special edition of Out and About. It's all about the big weekend. For 18 years, the white tents at South Point Pavilions meant the Lincoln Arts Festival was underway. But this year, the festival is headed downtown for the first time. Joining me from the Lincoln Arts Council is Troy Gagner. The Lincoln Arts Council produces this great event. And Troy, tell us why the move to downtown?
Well, a couple of reasons, actually. First of all, we had outgrown the space at South Point. They had a big expansion going on. We're adding a parking garage. We just took up too much of their parking space. And the second part was the recent revisions to the downtown master plan actually called for us to move downtown, and it made perfect sense for us to co-locate downtown with Lincoln Calling.
All right. What has moving downtown allowed you to do differently this year?
Well, we have so much more space. It allows us to really expand all the offerings that we have. So at South Point, it really was about the artists that came in and the sales, but downtown we have that aspect, and then in addition to that, we have a lot of other activities that we can add to really make it more of a festival.
All right. What are some of those activities this year?
Well, on Tower Square, we'll have a number of things going on. We always have an emerging artist program, but now we've branded it Gallery One with our sponsor, First National Bank, and so we'll have 4 emerging artists who have never shown before in a tent on Tower Square. We have some partnerships that we've built with the University of Nebraska, and so we have graduate students in photography and printmaking that will be down there, and you'll be able to do some interactive art with them and actually take something home. From Innovation Campus, from the Makerspace out there, we'll have some people coming down with their laser cutters, and so you'll be able to design a small art piece, and actually they'll cut it out with their laser cutter. It's something you can take home as well. Doane University will be there throwing ceramics. You'll have a chance to get your hands dirty doing that. And then right up the street, the Johnny Carson Center for Emerging Media Arts is partnering with us because they've just opened their building, and they will actually be open during the festival showing student films, and they'll have some virtual reality art kinds of things going on too.
Sounds like a lot of fun. We want to give a shout out, of course, to John Badami, who he worked with the city events team to figure out the layout, which was quite a challenge.
It really is quite a challenge. We're shutting down about 6 blocks downtown, if you include where we're parking some of our artists. And the difficulty is we've got parking garages that we've got to be able to let people get in and out of. And so we're still working through the finer details, but once September 21st and 22nd rolls around, we should have it all ready and have 110 artists there for you to see, and all the other activities that we have planned.
All right, tell us about the variety of the art that people can not just look at but also purchase.
Sure. So we have, as I said, we have 110 artists that are coming. They are coming from about 20 states, and so a lot of the artists that we work with kind of do a festival circuit through the summer and stop in Lincoln. But the move downtown has kind of made a switch for us on the weekend that we do, and so we've had a bit of turnover. I want to say maybe 30% or so. So we'll have a lot of new artists that people probably haven't seen at our festival before. But they bring. We have jewelers, woodworkers, we have painters and sculptors, glass, a little bit of everything. I've probably left out 3 or 4 of the media that we have down there, and we really kind of have art of every price point. So there's some jewelry down there that is very much out of my price range, but there are other artists that have, besides larger paintings and pieces, they have smaller pieces that you can pick up for $5 and $10 even. So there's really something for everybody in every price point.
All right, again, the Lincoln Arts Festival, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, September 21st. On Sunday, September 22nd, it's 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It takes place on downtown, kind of centered along Peace Street. And this is not going to happen smoothly without volunteer help. And I understand you're still looking for some volunteers.
We are, because our space is so much bigger, we're doing so much more. I mean, our need for volunteers has probably doubled from previous years. And so we're slowly getting to the point where we have what we need, but we could still use many more volunteers. There's lots of different jobs. We still need quite a bit of help for setup on Friday the 20th. And for teardown on Sunday night. But even in between, we need people to help us at the gates, sit in the information booth, artist hospitality and booth sitting for the artists, which means when the artists, because they're there all day, they'll need to take a break. And so we have volunteers that actually go and sit and mind their booths for them while they're gone. So there's plenty of jobs. We have most of the shifts are just a couple of hours at a time, so you can come down and do a shift or 2 for us and then enjoy the rest of the day at the festival.
I got to booth sit for an artist one time, and I actually sold some things, so that was pretty fun. There's also something really cool called the Patron Program. This supports not just the Arts Council, but gives you some money to spend at the booths.
Absolutely. So the Patron Program is a program where you can pre-purchase what we call Art Bucks, and they come in $25 increments. And what that is, it's a partial donation to the Lincoln Arts Council, but then when you come in, we have a breakfast on Saturday morning for our patrons just before the festival opens. And so after the breakfast and the events that we have there, and we have some drawings and some entertainment for our patrons at that breakfast, but then afterwards you get your Art Bucks, and you can go out and spend them basically like cash with any of the artists at the festival.
It's a lot of fun. All right, tell us also, this is an all-ages event. Tell us about the activities that are planned for kids at the Children's Museum and also at the History Museum.
Yeah, so I mean, in addition to all the activities on Tower Square, which are of course for all ages as well, we have some that are more specifically geared towards children, young people. Out in front of the Lincoln Children's Museum, we'll have some activities that the Children's Museum themselves are helping us with. And then the Lincoln Symphony Orchestra actually will be there as well with what they call their instrument petting museum. So kids, and well, I guess kids of all ages, can actually have a chance to play around a little bit with some of those instruments. And then the Nebraska History Museum is partnering with us as well. They have a new exhibit on the anniversary of the women's suffragette movement, and they're bringing that outside and tying in some art activities to that. So families will be able to decorate banner or sashes and pins and posters that have to do with the anniversary of that movement.
All right. How excited are you about this year?
Very excited.
A little nervous?
And very nervous. Yeah, both. It's exciting just because there's so much more going on. I think that the buzz has really grown with the move downtown. We've got these great partnerships with Lincoln Calling, with the Johnny Carson Center, with the 2 museums and a number of others that I'm leaving out right now. But it is very exciting because of all of those partners coming together, and we've never really done this before, and all the arts events that are happening just that weekend. I don't think Lincoln's ever seen an art weekend like this. We see sports take over downtown on a regular basis, but I don't think we've ever seen the arts do that.
Yeah, it's the big weekend.
It is the big weekend.
Again, the Lincoln Arts Festival is part of that big weekend downtown, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday, September 21st. 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. September 22nd. You can find information at artscene.org, and you can find out all about the artists. You could do a little pre-shopping, kind of.
You can.
Pick out some of the artists that you particularly
Yeah,
want to see.
all of the artists have a page that will give you an example of their work and their artist statements, and if they have a website, a link to their website to learn more about them.
All right, Troy, thank you very much for
Thank
being
you.
here. Good luck.
Thank you.
It's going to be a great year.
We're excited.
All right. When we come back, it's time to make the streets come alive. We'll have the latest information on the annual Outdoor Movement Festival. And during the break, we'll have details on the Harvest Moon Festival being organized by the Asian Community and Cultural Center. Stay with us.
The Asian Community and Cultural Center invites the public to a Harvest Moon Festival from 4 to 8 p.m. Sunday, September 22nd at Antelope Park. Enjoy food, cultural activities, performances, traditional games, and live music, and participate in free health screenings. For more information, visit LincolnAsianCenter.org.
Welcome back to Out and About, the special edition that's all about the big weekend. The last event we're going to talk about is Streets Alive. You know, it's not often we're encouraged to go out and play in the streets, but that's the idea behind this free outdoor movement event, promoting physical activity and healthy eating. A 2-mile stretch of Lincoln streets in the area of Park Middle School, Cooper Park, and the South Salt Creek neighborhood. They will be closed to motorized vehicles and open for all human-powered transportation only. This event is sponsored by the Partnership for a Healthy Lincoln, and joining me from that organization is Veronica Cockrell. Veronica, thanks for being here. You're one of the co-managers of the festival. Tell us what happens at the festival.
Well, you did a great introduction to it. Well, the purpose of the event is to get people out, to get people moving, and also to supply free health and wellness resources to the neighborhood where it's located, and also to the general Lincoln community that participate in the event. So we block off 2 miles of the Lincoln streets, and we line the streets with a lot of fun, interactive activities for kids, for adults, people of all ages. We'll have exhibitors there giving away free resources and doing some fun educational things with visitors. The Lincoln Fire Department will be there with the fire truck. LES will be there with a high voltage demonstration. We'll have bounce houses. The Hy-Vee Wellness Bus will be there. And then new this year, the Hy-Vee will be doing their Healthy You Mobile. They'll have like a nursing nook for breastfeeding mothers. So yeah, a lot of fun things, a dunk tank. The Bay will be there with their skateboarding ramp. We also have an entertainment site in Cooper Park at the Cooper Park Shelter, and we're collaborating with Lincoln Calling that's happening the same weekend. There will be a couple bands there, The Wise and Jurana, that will be playing at Lincoln Calling as well. And we have a fitness site along the route where people will be doing free fitness classes and sports demonstrations. The Lincoln Fencing Club will be there doing a demonstration. There'll be a yoga and Pilates instructor, as well as the YMCA will do a pound class demonstration. And new this year, we also have an art walk that we're collaborating with the South of Downtown Art Hub, where we'll have local artists from the South Salt Creek area displaying some of their art. We'll have a face painting section, and then also some chalk art. We'll have a professional artist doing chalk art, and then kids can jump in and just do their own art along the way. So yeah, a lot of different interactive fun things.
A lot of things going on, and it's
Yeah.
all geared toward being healthy,
It is.
getting out and enjoying the outdoors. How many people do you usually have participate in the festival?
Well, and this is the 9th year for the First Streets Alive, and we average about 4,000 people per event. We switch locations every 2 years. Last year we were in Belmont, and this year, we're in the South Salt Creek area.
Now, picking the neighborhood is kind of a big deal. Why
It
did
is.
you pick South Salt Creek this particular year?
Well, we try to center around a Title I school every year. So last year, like I said, it was in Belmont. This year it's around Park Middle School. So really it is the major purpose of Partnership for a Healthy Lincoln is to improve the health of communities, thousands of people at a time. And the way that Streets Alive fits into this is really that promotion of physical fitness, healthy eating, and those free resources, like I said, in a neighborhood that could really use those type of resources.
Now, the neighborhood also will take part in a 2-year development project.
Yes, yes. That started actually with the last 2 years in Belmont. We decided, you know, we don't want Streets Alive to just be a one-day and done event. We'd like to leave a lasting impact in the neighborhood. And so we partner with a lot of community organizations and the Lincoln Parks and Rec, the City of Lincoln to pick, and the south of downtown, and NeighborWorks, a lot of different community organizations to pick something within the neighborhood that they see as something necessary for the neighborhood, for the revitalization, for access to physical fitness. So we have a committee that's trying to decide on that project right now for the South Salt Creek area, and we're going to unveil it at Streets Alive this year. And then hopefully over the next year, we'll be in South Salt Creek next year as well. And the project hopefully will be done by then, so at the next Streets Alive we can unveil it.
All right, and you kind of set the model for this with your work at Belmont.
We did, yes. We, in the Belmont area in the park by Belmont School, we raised money and built a park shelter there to have more access and more of a safe place in the park for people to congregate.
All right. Again, Streets Alive, the 9th annual Streets Alive Festival is coming up from 1 to 4:30 p.m. Sunday, September 22nd in the South Salt Creek neighborhood area. HealthyLincoln.org is the website to go to find out more about this great festival that celebrates outdoors and movement. Well, Veronica, before we let you go, tell us a little bit about Partnership for a Healthy Lincoln, your organization.
Yeah, so Partnership for a Healthy Lincoln, the main mission is to improve the health of communities, thousands of people at a time. And we do that in the community by partnering with a lot of nonprofit and for-profit organizations as well as community organizers to recognize health disparities in the community and ways that we can help close those gaps.
Again, HealthyLincoln.org is where you go to find out more about not just Streets Alive, but also about Partnership for a Healthy Lincoln. Veronica, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
That's all for this special edition of Out and About. Mark your calendars for the big weekend. Lincoln Calling, the Lincoln Arts Festival, Play on Peace Street, the Harvest Moon Festival, and Streets Alive. Now, if you missed any of the details on those events, stay tuned. We'll be running a list right after this show. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you out and about.